Okay, conservative political analyst Karl Rove predicted that the Iowa caucus will be do or die for Governor Ron DeSantis, dubbing a victory in the first primary essential for his hopes of defeating former President Trump in the 2024 GOP primary. Iowa is do or die. He's putting a lot of effort there, Rose said in a Fox interview Saturday. He has support of the popular governor, Kim Reynolds. He won the support of a key leader in the evangelical community, Vander Plaats. And yeah, he's got to run, he continued. If he comes in third in Iowa, it's very problematic for him because it doesn't get better for him in the next two sets of contests. DeSantis has put most of his campaign resources in the Hawkeyes state at the January 15th caucus, as the January 15th caucus draws near, raising hopes that he could down Trump, the campaign's favorite, and set up a path to nomination. Stopping Trump in Iowa is key to letting a DeSantis path open, his campaign wrote in a leaked memo early this month. Everyone can universally agree that if Trump were to win big in Iowa, it would create media and political momentum for his candidacy that would be difficult to stop heading into New Hampshire, the memo read according to the Associated Press. The governor has already received the influential endorsements of Iowa Governor Reynolds and evangelical leader Bob Vander Plaats. I think America would be well served to have a choice, and I really believe Ron DeSantis should be that guy, Vander Plaats said Tuesday, and I think Iowa is tailor-made for him to win this. DeSantis has feuded most closely with former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley in recent weeks, noting his rise as a candidate to compete for second place in polls. The Florida governor has about 13% support nationally, according to polling averages, compared to Trump's 60% in Iowa. Recent polls give DeSantis and Haley both 16% support. Well, it's kind of hard to argue with both Rove and the campaign memo. I mean, ever since this race started, damn near, Trump has had this double-digit lead over everyone else in the field, and generally speaking, once someone starts winning multiple states, it becomes harder and harder for them to be defeated. However, I will say that a lot of these Republican commentators are not seeming to get the drift on the fact that Iowa really isn't, at least for the Republicans, that great of an indicator of who the nominee will be. Again, 2016, the state was won by Cruz, who then lost New Hampshire to Trump. 2012, Santorum won it. 2008, Huckabee won it. These are people who did not become their nominees of their parties in those respective years. So I that's why I said I think if DeSantis was being smart, he would probably spend more time, would have, not now because I think it's too late, but I think he would have been better served to have spent more time in New Hampshire. Because if you look at Trump's victory in 2016, it started there. He lost Iowa, came out okay, whatever, and then went to New Hampshire, won, and then it pretty much became a runaway contest between there and Super Tuesday. So I think even, so I'm not going to say DeSantis can't win Iowa, even though it doesn't look like he will, but even if he were to win that state, why do you want to? I know some people will say you shouldn't look at patterns and just judge it, but I'm gonna do it in this case. Were I running for the GOP presidential nomination, which will never happen, I would focus my efforts on New Hampshire. As far as of those early states, New Hampshire, South Carolina, Iowa is for the birds. It's just a state that, for whatever reason, whoever the evangelicals pick tends to not be the party's nominee. I don't know why that is. Maybe the rest of the party is out of tune with these very religious people. It's just not. In fact, actually, someone made a very interesting point. They said the last time Iowa was won by the eventual Republican nominee was Bush in 2000. That's really insane to think about. Just, you have to go back 20 years to find somebody that won that state and then won the nomination. So I think DeSantis is Rove's statements here about do or die are true. And, he's got these endorsements, whatever. But I don't think it's going to mean much even if he wins there. I think he's probably going to lose that state to Trump. And then Haley's going to perform better than him or even Christie in New Hampshire. And then that's going to be what causes DeSantis to be like, okay, this is nothing. I can't win this because he's not winning South Carolina. That's either going to be Trump or Haley, most likely Trump. So there's really no early state I see him having any shot at, really. And then the one, except in Iowa, where again the person who wins it, that's a Republican, tends to not end up being the nominee anyway. Which, I mean, hey, I wouldn't mind Trump getting Iowa if it means that, but I digress. So I'm agreeing with Rove's comment, but I just want to remind people of what former President Trump said back in, I think this was April. If you see rhinos Karl Rove, Bill Barr, or Paul Ryan on your television screen, just turn to a different station or turn it off. Turn off that set as fast as you can. You're frankly better off watching Democrats. They are the worst.